Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within. Find your own voice. Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Okay, it's not responding. Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows, everyone. For those, if it is your first time to be on this channel, this is Ngosti Talk Shows channel. We talk about all different subjects, and we have all different coaches from all walks of life. So we cover everything basically, and we help you find your own voice and lead from within. With me today is one of Ngosti Talk Shows speakers and coach. Amanda, please introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Amanda Cottrell. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I am a teacher, an author, and an illustrator. And I help people find their own unique creative capacities within themselves because we all are creative and we all have creative gifts. So I love to share creativity with others and inspire others to empower themselves through their creativity.
Thank you so much, Amanda. So our topic today is the qualities. What qualities determine success? And Amanda, you basically chose this topic. There must be something that basically you were working or something you're working on. And as a leader, basically, and you have qualities of success. So would you like to share to our audience why you chose this topic, please?
Yeah, I chose this topic because I've been working through this course by the Bob Proctor Institute on unblocking yourself. And one of the things that Bob Proctor talks about is how society has made us feel that if you don't go to university and get a university degree, then you won't be successful or you won't win at life. And he says that's not true because he only had like 2 months of high school and then went on to become like multimillionaire and help people all around the world. And so he talks a lot about the qualities that people have that allow them to become successful. And as a teacher, I was like, I also agree with him because I know children in my class who struggle with school and who are so gifted in so many ways, but I can't mark them on that and I can't evaluate them on that because our system isn't set up for me to evaluate the creative gifts that they have because we all have multiple intelligences, and the school system only looks at this narrow piece of our intelligence. It doesn't look at all of the multiple intelligences. And so I feel that many students go through school really struggling and feeling like they won't be successful in life because school has made them feel that way, when in reality they have so many qualities that people who are really good at retaining knowledge don't have. And when you have those qualities, just being able to retain knowledge does not equate to success. Success is based on perseverance. It's based on your people skills. It's based on you willing to get up and do what nobody else is willing to get up and do. And so I really think that in our school system, we need to start to shift from that push to go to university, because I even know people who went to university and who floundered around and took some classes here and there and basically just wasted a whole bunch of money and then found something later on that was their passion. And they might not have gotten a specific university degree, but they've become very successful in life through the path that they've taken because they persevered. They took the training that they needed as they went through. Because I was talking with one of my friends who he barely scraped through high school, and then he started in this company, like basically shoveling dirt, and then like we're in our 40s now, and he now is a multimillionaire. And I was like, your story needs to be told, because people believe that they can't be successful unless they go to university. Like, you don't have a business degree, you barely scraped through high school, and yet you've always done very well for yourself. Like, he was the first one to buy a house, he was the first one to like start a business, and he just, even his wife who is a chiropractor, he literally like got her business started where he bought the building for her so that she could. And I'm like, this is somebody who society would say isn't going to be successful, and would say his wife was going to be more successful, but in reality, like, he helped her become successful. And also because of his work ethic and everything, he now has his own business and has become very successful. So I'm actually starting a book project where people who have achieved success in a non-traditional, non-societal way, where they maybe floundered through university or they didn't get a university degree, and yet despite of all of that, they've become very successful. So it's going to be about rethinking what it means to be educated, because just having a university degree doesn't mean you're educated. I have 3 of them and I definitely value education, but for me, my first degree was basically like, if I didn't go on to do more training, it wouldn't have helped me in life, because I have a political science degree. So unless I wanted to go into the government, maybe, but I wanted to be either a teacher or a lawyer. So I got my political science degree so that I opened up the door for law school, but I also just needed a degree to go into teaching school in Canada, or in Alberta where I live. So I opened up both of those doors by getting my first degree, and then I ended up going into teaching, and then I ended up going to get my master's. And all of those have opened up doors for me. But if you don't want a specific career that requires a degree, then I really think people should take their time and not just jump into university without a real purpose. Otherwise, I feel like it's a giant waste of money for people, and I don't think that enough people in society are realizing that. So that's why I picked the topic for today, is because I think success looks very different for different people, and that we need to start broadening our eyes to what it means to be successful and how that path to success will look.
I actually agree with you, Amanda, when you say basically we're all different. Just because you have a degree, it doesn't basically mean that you are going to succeed. You can go to university. I basically didn't go to university at home. I finished school, and I wanted to basically do what I wanted to do. I left home and I started traveling, and I was busy with my music. I didn't finish I didn't finish to go to uni. And my parents knew my dreams, what I wanted. I basically I spend all my time being creative and sitting. Like, if I go and sit in the class, I'm fine and I'm okay with it. But I was lucky because my parents were not these people that say, do this, you have to be this, you have to be a doctor because someone else's daughter or son is a doctor. They just let us be. They knew my dad was a teacher. He would just show me how to be creative, and I'm glad that he did that for me to be a creative. I actually studied psychology when I retired football. That's when I was like, let me take a degree in psychology, but simple because the psychology is fascinating. And that was the reason why I wanted to do psychology, because 90% of what we do in real life is psychology. But if you don't have to do that, there are some people who are millionaires, they have diplomas, they never went to university. So it's all about what you basically, who you are as a person. Some people have a great mind of a leader, and they are born with it. Some people, they train themselves. You can train yourself to be a leader, to have the qualities of success. Even if you go to uni, they will teach you what they know. You still have to take action. You still have to train yourself, to discipline yourself. You still have to create the strategic plan to get to where you need to go. If you want to apply for a job, you still need the mindset of being disciplined. And when you talk about children, that the children, the education is not designed for, the system is not designed for all the children, the abilities. My daughter, I went to school yesterday, and her teacher was like, she's got 2 jobs that work that she needs to complete. She didn't complete her work because she was so slow. So we get home, she finished her work. So I said to her, what could help you to finish your work really quick? And she said, if I change the table, be with the table that is more focused, because the table where I am is very distracting. And her teacher asked her that question, and she said no. But now she said to me, she's 6 years old, she said, I think my teacher is right. I do need to change the table. And then I give her the work, the spellings. Less than 1 minute, she's finished the spellings. I think there were 8 spellings or 10 that she needed to write down. And I go to the kitchen, I come back, she's handing over. I was like, how are you finished? And she goes, I'm finished. So I was like, you should be doing this at school. It should be the other way around. We should be quick at school. And she goes, Mommy, I'm allowed to take my time. So I was like, okay. So that's how it works. So me and her teacher, we're trying to find a plan that works for her, that basically some of the things like giving her work to come and complete it at home is not in the system. So we were like, we need to find a plan that maybe if we reward her with something, a teacher, if she tells me that she was quick today, then I give a reward for something. So we just have to, we're all designed different basically in life, and the qualities of success, basically you have to be determined. You have to have the courage to somebody who knows how to transform something from nothing. You have to be somebody that basically is willing to take risk. 90% of my life, I don't know where I'm going. When it comes to business, I have no idea where I'm going. I know the plan, I know the vision, but 99% when I'm making a decision, I don't know if that decision is going to work. Honestly, I was looking at last night, there was something that I was doing, and everybody kept annoying me. Nomsa, make a decision. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm going to do this. I'm okay. I'm going to do this. I'm okay. I'm okay. So, and I was like, no, I'm not making a decision. I'm just going to take my time to make a decision. I'm not rushing. I have to be patient. You know, when you're having problems within your life, and you want to rush things, you want to try the easy way out, it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to be patient, and sometimes you have to, having good qualities of basically success, you have to be someone that is patient. When you see a problem, you have to see a problem as you learn from that problem. and then you take action. You don't just rush everything just because it's a problem. So I was like, everybody else, let me take my time. And everyone was like, you have to do this, you have to do this. I was like, no, let me take my time. And I don't know whether, Amanda, you have been in that situation where you're faced with a challenge and everyone is facing you. They want you to basically, instead of focusing on where you're going, and they want you to change the direction, and you are like, no. It's like, for me, basically, I know when I need to change the direction, but when I need to stand still, there's a time where I need to stand still and keep taking action and keep having faith. So I was like, I'm having faith, I'm gonna have faith. And then I looked at my phone yesterday. I had 3 options to choose from, from the things that I wanted, and everybody kept saying, make a decision. And I was like, here I'm presented with 3 options, and those options, it means I can just pick and choose what I want. And then I was like, now I'm learning that, life, being a leader is not there's no easy way. You have to be somebody who doesn't want to force and get up, not stay there. You have to be somebody that keeps taking action, and regardless of how you feel, the strength, it has to be there always. Over to you, Amanda. I don't know if you have anything to comment to what I've just said, or you've ever been in a situation where everybody's pushing you to say, Amanda, make a decision, make a decision.
I haven't had it where other people have to push me to make a decision, but I like how you said sometimes you just need to sit and have faith and trust, and the right decision will come to you. One of the things that Bob Proctor says in the work that I'm studying is that really successful people are good decision makers, and so they're able to make decisions quickly when they need to, and they are able to focus. And also the other thing is persevere. So it's about just like trying and trying again and trying again. And he talks about how kids, when they're babies, like they're determined to learn how to walk, and they'll get up and fall down and get up and fall down and get up and fall down, and they will keep going until they can walk, and then they walk, and then there's no looking back. And I think we have to have that approach challenges in our life like that too, is that we can't just stop if we fail once. It's called failing forward for a reason. And so that's something that we're trying to teach in schools now too, is the value of failing forward, is that you actually learn more when something doesn't come easily to you. And I think something that's like your daughter. I have so many chatty kids too, where they have the gift of the gab, and that maybe they're writing down their work or whatever it is that we're doing in class isn't their favorite thing in the world. And I always say to parents, when I have parent interviews or something, they're like, I just want my kid to give 100% all the time. And I'm like, do you give 100% all the time? And they look at me like I'm crazy. And then I'm like, do you really clean your toilet with 100% effort? I'm like, I do, because I have OCD and I'm like a total nail neat freak. But I guarantee you don't clean your toilet with 100% effort. And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, there's definitely things in life where kids are totally interested in them, and people are interested in them, and they will put 100% effort in, or 110% effort, or whatever. But there are things in life where you can't do everything 100% all the time. And I think that's a misconception that many people have. And so too, like the training that you take, it really needs to be of what your interest is. So I could go in and teach a group of teachers about mindfulness, or about writing, or about yoga, and that might be really helpful for their classroom. But if I went into my friend Chris's business and I taught them about that, they'd be like, please shoot me now. Because they deal with soil reclamation and cleaning up oil site work sites, and they'd be like, why is this moron here? Right? because the training has to relate to what you're doing. And if it's completely not related to what you're doing, then it's going to come across as completely useless. And so I really have to think about that for children too. Like, what is it that they're passionate about? And when they're passionate about something, they're going to find value in what you're saying. If they're not passionate about that specific topic, then they need to find what topic they are passionate about, and then you will see that effort, you will see that strive for success, you will see that growth in them. And until we find our passion and our purpose, that we sometimes can seem like we're floundering. But if you have a vision, like you said, about you have a vision of what you want and where you want to get to, you don't know how you're going to get there. I have a vision too of where I want to go and what my ideal life will look like. But I have no clue how I'm going to get there. But I also had no clue how I was going to publish children's books, and I've self-published 8 of them now. And so when you decide to make a decision and start, you only need to see one step in front of you. You don't need to see how you're going to get to the very end, because the journey is part of the enjoyment and part of the fun of it. And you may take 1 step forward and 3 steps back, but then eventually you'll figure it out, and you'll drive yourself forward faster than you ever imagined you possibly could. And I think that's something that we really need to consider too, is that we're always like, if something didn't work, we have to try it a different way. We can't continue to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, because that's the definition of insanity. Right? You do the same thing over and over again expecting different results. You're not going to get success anyway. But if you try something and then go, oh, I need to learn from that, I'm going to try again but a little bit differently, and then I'm going to try again but a little bit differently, and eventually you'll find that process, and you'll find the right mentors to help you get to the next level that you want to.
That is definitely true, Amanda. It's very, very important to basically to understand that you can't do everything 100%. My children, basically, they know that when they're at school, they have to give it all. And when it comes to results, if they write a test, I'm never complain. I'm grateful that they went to the class and they did the test. I don't complain. My job is to make sure that I mentor them, but they need to make sure that they get the marks that they think they deserve, because the marks are not mine. So my daughter did cry one day. She got 80 something percent, was it 88 or 86, and she wasn't happy. And I got to a parents' evening, and her teacher, she's telling me that they had basically a time where she was crying, and I looked at her. I said, you know what I'm gonna say? And she said, no. I said, what is the rules? And she said, I have to appreciate my grades, whatever the hard work that I'm doing. And her teacher said, I'm really happy that you are saying that to her in front of me, because now I know what I'm dealing with. Because some parents, they want 100%, 99% is not good enough. So I said to her, I don't really want my daughter to think that she has to get 100% like what you're saying, Amanda. I said to her, for me, I'm happy with the hard work that she does, because I know she'll give it all. So 88%, 90% for me is good enough. It shows that my child is focusing, is working hard. And so we had to stop that, because she was hanging out with the kids that are, but you know, those kind of kids that you have to share your marks. And then if you have 99% and that's not good enough. So she started having that mind. So I was like, no, you don't have that mind. So I said to her, you can work hard. When you get your exams, you pass, I just reward you with something. So when she passes, she tells me that I've got these results. You're reminding me now I need to give her some pocket money, because she works hard. She worked really hard for exams. So it's not about basically being too hard on yourself. It's about having that appreciation, that gratitude that you took action. Because for me, for a child to have the courage to say I'm gonna go to school, or basically for myself, having the courage to sit there and learn about something, the more you appreciate yourself, the more you want to do more. But the more you discourage yourself or you doubt yourself, the more you're gonna want to step back, because that job that you're doing, you feel that it's not enough. So you have to be passionate about the things that you do. And in order for you to be passionate, it means you celebrate success, you celebrate your failures, because when you fail, it means you are learning. You've learned something out from that failure, and then you're gonna correct that failure, and next time you improve, you get the the results that you want. And the journey is the process. I always tell people that you will never understand until you've gone through the process of making mistakes. Because sometimes we look at people, we think, why are they behaving the way they behave? I used to think that way as well. But now I'm thinking, I used to do these things. But the beauty of life is being a leader and learning from your mistakes, motivating yourself. And like I was talking to my spouse the other day, and it was like, I always go to bed and you guys are always awake and stuff. So I was like, okay, when you go to bed, I'm gonna go to bed. So and then actually I didn't realize, like, when it's morning is actually helping me. So it means I can get up at 2 a.m. or I can get up at 4 a.m. and pray. I can get up and do my things, the things that I want, and then go back to bed. So they're still sleeping. So I was like, this planning is working. So being a leader is just finding opportunities and the things that you can transform, and transforming your life at the same time. And having integrity as well is very, very important to find success, because without integrity there is no way that you can get to where you need to go. So you need to be truthful as a leader. With integrity, you have to always be truthful to whatever you're doing, with your clients, with your business, with your service. Just having that integrity and humility is very, very, very important. That is something that I teach my children. I even write it at their door so that they know that life is not a race. When we are at work, you have your company, you have to trust people that you work with. It's like you guys are Gossip Talk Show's face. If I wanted to go anyway, I know that I don't have to worry about who is gonna run the show, who is gonna do this. I don't have to do that. But if it was before I go into personal development, I'll be wanting to control everything. But now I don't. I know as a leader, I have to see everyone else that is around me as leaders, because we get to share ideas, we get to experience this journey together. We are both we are there's no one, like in Gossip Talk Show. I don't see, like, when somebody tells me that, ask me like about my talk show, I'm like, oh no, I basically, it's not like we. And they're like, how many of you then? So then I have to explain. So it's because it's in my head. Like, when somebody asks me and about the talk show, I always say we, because I know that I have people that are champions, the leaders, the basically people that are very, very creative, are cultivating this talk show to be where it needs to be. And so I don't have to worry about anything. I only have to worry about the journey. Like I said before, 99% I write down the vision. And sometimes I write down my vision. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation where you write down the vision, everything looks good on paper and everything, but it never goes according to that. It never goes according to plan. When you are halfway through, something hits you or something happens, and then you are like, you have to, it's like, what do I do now? like what you were saying about Bob Proctor's work, that the child, they learn in the way they learn to crawl when they're learning to walk, they will crawl, they will stand and fall. We don't think about that. That life is about a bumpy road. So, but now I'm realizing that actually there's no such thing as an easy road to success. So you go to roadblocks, and once you get to the roadblocks, and then you find a way yourself way out, and then you climb to the mountains, and then everything you celebrate. So I'm learning to celebrate challenges as well. I'm learning to celebrate the glory. I don't just look at problems as problems anymore. I look at them as success, and that's what keeps me going. Just to celebrate everything and be grateful, basically. Over to you, Amanda. How do you keep your strength going?
I think gratitude has a lot to do with our success, for sure, because when we feel grateful, we attract more positivity and more success into our lives. Whereas if we're negative and angry and upset all the time, then we're going to attract more of that. And so having a positive attitude as you go into things, and your journey, and even the struggles that you do have, if you can flip it into a positive, or then you will continue to feel better about yourself and be able to get out of bed in the morning and be able to love life and enjoy life. And I think that so many of us just hyper focus on those negatives, and we can switch it around to being grateful for having like a shower and, and a warm bed to sleep in, and food to eat, and there's so many different things that we can be grateful for, and when we flip it to a sense of gratitude, then we really can see the more abundance and more things to be grateful for when we're looking for them. But if we're looking for negatives, then we can find more negatives. It's like they say, if you start looking for white cars, you will see white cars everywhere. But if you change it and you look for a specific type of car, then you'll start seeing those everywhere as well. And so I really think that it's where your mind is, that's where your energy goes, and that's where your focus goes. And if your mind is on like, okay, I've got this big vision and this thing that I want to achieve, then you'll keep working until you achieve it. But you really have to stop yourself when those the negative self-talk starts and be like, no, I can do this. And when I was talking with my friend, he's like, the one that I was saying is now a millionaire. He was saying like there are definitely nights where I was like, how am I going to pay how, like, there's 30 cents left in the bank account for the business, like, what am I doing? Why did I leave my other job? And then he just kept persevering through, and he got, and I think he's had the business for like 5 years now, and yeah, become very, very successful. But if he would have stopped on those days where it was like, there's 30 cents left in our business account, then he wouldn't be where he is today, right? If he would have been like, I give up, I'm just going to go back to my job that pays well, he wouldn't be where he is today. And I think that's something that we all need to realize, is that people who are successful have had big struggles, have had big fears, because they're willing to take risks. Because he could have kept working at his job, like he was saying, as a consultant. I think he was making like 350 grand a year. He's like, I could have kept doing that but I quit and I started my own business. And he was like, there were definitely nights where I was like, why did I quit that job? And people think he's crazy because they're like, you quit a $350,000 a year job to like start your own business? Like, are you nuts? But in the end, 5 years later, they're like, oh, you're not nuts. You actually had a vision and you worked for it, and you knew in like your soul that you could succeed at this, and you did. And I think that's something that we need to realize too, is that people who are successful are generally willing to take risks and sometimes bigger risks, because they see a vision for themselves that they know they can achieve, They may not know how they're going to get there, but they definitely know that there's something within them that's saying like, I need to do this, I need to start, I need to try. And I even was visiting with a lady yesterday, and we went for a walk, and then she was talking about like she wanted to start a business where she is an editor, and I was like, start. She's like, well, I don't, and I was like, just start. Like, go onto one of these websites and post a thing and just see what happens. Like, these are the way I used Fiverr and I used Readseed for my book marketing stuff that I just learned about. Like, go onto one of those and set up a profile and start. Will it work? I don't know. If it doesn't work, maybe somebody else will give you another idea and that'll be the one that works. And so you'll just keep going until you meet the right people who are going to be like, oh, that mentor told me exactly what I need to know now, so I'm going to go and do that.
That is so true, Amanda. I like the example of your friend who actually quit her job so that she can start her business, and she has succeeded after 5 years, which is good. You know, every decision that you make when you want to start something or whatever you want to start something, it comes with a struggle. There is nothing that comes just easy or is being handed over to you. Everything will come with a struggle. That is success. So you have to be someone that, if you want to succeed, you have to be someone that stays focused, and you have to understand the power of connection as well, because if you understand the power of connecting with people and communicating your want and communicating with people properly, and then you get to where you need to go, and understanding the power of willpower and strength. I think is you just meditation is very, very important for those who have their businesses who don't meditate. Meditation is very, very, very important. Actually, I actually meditate, and I listen to binary music. Is it binary music? Is it called binary? What is it called? The one that activates your energy. What is it called? So whatever it's called, I'll find it on YouTube. But I listen to it. Sometimes when I go to sleep, I listen to it all night. And I meditate in prayer. And actually, it activates you are awakening your inner being within. It does help with the strength, because we live a busy life. We lead a busy life each and every day. We've got children. We want to make sure that our children are happy. Like at school, Amanda, you are a teacher. Being a teacher, actually, I was watching one of the big speakers on YouTube, and he was saying, if you really, really want somebody to write your goals, to teach you how to write your goals, find a teacher. Teachers are always planning. They always make sure that they deliver 100% to their children, because you're dealing with different children. I used to see my dad. He would get up at 4 a.m. or sometimes 3 a.m. planning and doing everything for school. So it's all about staying focused and planning, having that strength. When challenges come your way, you know that, you know what, it's a struggle, but I know where I'm going. I know the journey that I'm going, even if it seems everything is so dark. Sometimes I go in a place where everything is so dark, and sometimes when you speak to people, they are like, you don't know what you're doing, and you better do this. I'm like, I stand still. I don't want to listen to those kind of voices. All I do is, there's a time where, like, I'll stand still for 1 week. I'll keep taking action, but it keeps standing still in my heart. Like, my desire, what I want, it has to stop. What I want is, now I'm asking for higher powers. Like, God, what do you want for me? What do you want for me? What do you have for me? Show me, what do you have for me? Because I've tried it my way. my willpower, my way. I want to stand out. I want to stand my own truth, but it is so dark. You know, like you have to use your beliefs when things are dark. When you are in darkness, use your beliefs. It's like I watched you, Amanda, going through the corona, the pandemic regulations with the school, the policies, with whatever you were, the people that you were dealing with. You didn't give up. Every single day I've listened to you, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And we were like, there will be something out of it. There will be something come out of it, the outcome. But it took a few months. But in the end, you got that. Mentally, you didn't give up. You kept going, you kept believing, you stood in your own truth with what you believe in. And that is the power of a great leader. You stand by what you believe in, because it doesn't mean that things are dark. You have to change your mind about your beliefs. You stand your own truth. And if you do know that I'm doing the right thing, I know that I'm doing the right thing in my heart, you stand by that. The path might seem so dark and unclear, but we don't know behind the curtains. You were going each and every week being told this, but there was something that was being prepared. The results were being prepared without you knowing. We didn't know anything until the results were delivered, that okay, we don't have to pay, you don't have to do this. And that is the power of glory. Like, power is the strength of qualities of a great leader and that success that you want. Basically, if you want to succeed in life, you have to have a mindset of a leader in everything you do. I always listen to people when you ask them, what do you do? They're like, oh, I'm just staying at home, I'm not doing nothing. I'm like, okay, but you have children, you look after your kids, you are a leader in your own children. But when you ask somebody, a mom, like, staying home mom, they're like, I'm not doing anything, I'm at home. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to be a mom and screaming at children, teaching them how to learn, a child learning to walk, and you are there feeding them, make sure that they are bathed, they are sleeping. You are basically leading that life, someone else's life. So, but some people don't see it as a leader. But to me, basically, because I have a mind of a leader, I see that person as a leader. She's a leader at home. She's a provider at home. That's how I see a working mom who is at home. That this person, she is basically teaches success. And the children, you know, like the children that we raise, these kids that we think, we say we want them to bring 100% all in. They are our children that we raise. So it's amazing how the party have it just. Have you ever been in a situation where you want something to happen and you want the results, and the results don't come that time that you want? They don't come in the time scale that you've given yourself. And what gives you what drives you when you are in that situation, Amanda?
I definitely think there's been times where things don't work out the way that you planned. Like I went into my master's 2 years after starting to teach full time, but then I got pregnant right away with my daughter, and so the plan of my master's being very short ended up making it like 4 years instead of just 2. But I think that that's something that, like, life happens and you just have to shift. And then even I went through a divorce while I was still doing my master's with a toddler, and it's just things didn't happen on my timeline, but they happened when they were meant to, and I just kept going. I just kept working at it because I knew that was my goal, and I knew that. And now that I have lived through that, I always say I can achieve anything I put my mind to, because I went through a horrible divorce with a toddler while doing my master's and working full time. I'm like, if I put my mind to it and I really want it, I can achieve anything. So even though at the time that was a real struggle and it was really hard, and I definitely think that gave me more strength and more self-confidence that I can achieve things that I put my mind to. And with my books, I would love for them to be selling more and doing more, but I need to take a different direction and figure out a way that I can market better, because that, I think, is something that will help me. Whereas before I was just like, I'll just do these Amazon ads at home by myself. and now my direction has changed because I'm not getting the results that I want out of it. And so we just have to keep shifting. If we have a goal, we have to shift and try again, and shift and try again. And I think that's something that if you're not getting what you want, then you have to shift and try again, or something better is meant for you. You're going to have a better path that you didn't necessarily experience. And even through what you were saying, where I had a lot of struggles through the pandemic because of my choices for bodily autonomy. I think when you go against what the crowd is doing, that's a sign of a true leader too, is because you have to do what's right for you no matter what anybody else is doing. And I think that's something that's so important for children to learn, especially in their teenage years, because all their friends might be doing something, but if they know in their heart that it's not right for them, then they need to be brave enough to stand up and say, I'm not doing this. I don't care what you guys are doing. You do you. That's always what I say, is you do you. And I'm in like this yoga competition right now. It's like called Yoga Warrior. And last night even there was this thing on Instagram where they messaged me and they're like, give me your link to your thing and we'll promote you. And I was like, okay. So I sent the link, and then they're like, here's what we'll do for you. And I was like, is this a paid for thing? Like, how much does this cost? And they're like, yeah, it's only this much, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, this is a competition like based on like merit and like what you've done and what your purpose is, not am I paying someone to get votes. I'm like, I'm not going to pay somebody to get votes for this. I'm going to be true to myself and trust that if I'm meant to win this contest, then I will, and I'll get to share my book, and I'll get to go to Sedona with my daughter, and we will get to share our love for yoga with the people from the magazine, and we will also get to share my book. Like if I win the $10,000, then my plan is to get my book into as many hands. I am Fearless, a yoga story for kids and superheroes, into as many hands of teachers as I possibly can. So because I believe 100% that my purpose is really important, I was like, I don't want to cheat. Like what you're doing is cheating. Because that's against my morals. And so I even emailed the organizer of the competition, and I was like, just so you know, this is what happened to me on Instagram, is that this company that came out and like said these things, and my response was, I don't want to cheat. Like, that's fine if other people have already paid you and are doing this and you're promoting them, but I believe that if I'm meant to win this, then I will win it honestly, and if not, then the person who's meant to win it honestly will. And I think that's something where you really have to stand behind your morals, because I think morals are so important. And standing behind what's right for you. What's right for you might not be right for everyone. Like my friend jokes with me. She's like, I don't view my body as like a temple and eat organic food, and not because I don't drink, I don't eat, I don't drink coffee, and I like really watch what my daughter and I eat, mostly organic. I'm like, but that's not right for everyone. That's just what's right for me, and it's okay. I don't care what anybody else eats, but like, you do you do what makes you happy, and this is what that makes me feel happy in my body and in my space. And so, because I don't know what makes you happy, right? Like maybe going to McDonald's and having a cheeseburger is like, oh, this is the best. And if it is, then oh, awesome. like so good, so happy for you. But I definitely think people need to stand ground in who they are, and that will help you achieve success. Because if you're like this wiggly worm like our politicians are, and they don't stand in what they truly believe and stand for the people, then they lose a lot of credibility, right?
That is so true, Amanda. That is so true. I don't mind if I was doing competition and promoting my ad for on Facebook or anything else. Just promoting for people to vote, real people voting. I don't mind doing that, but just wanting to get the vote the wrong way. I remember it is a hard work to ask people to vote for you. But if you have people on social media like LinkedIn, that you communicate with, you can ask them to vote for you. I remember the girl that won the competition at Desmond O'Connor. She kept beating me. I gave up. Basically, I came second. Every time I wake up, she'll be basically she'll be like, it will be a tie, and then she'll be up there, and she said, no, sir, those were sleepless night. I asked her how she's doing. She was like, I literally have to go on Instagram, send each and every person on Instagram all night, maybe send 200 to 300 people, just basically asking them to vote for me. Some will reply, some won't. So I did it on LinkedIn, and I was like, you know what, it's just taking my time. These people don't reply. So I just gave up. It was basically a nightmare. But the thousands, I think I sent
See,
2,000
but
to the
that's
gig.
promoting yourself. Like I did that where I promote myself to people that I know, but
Yeah,
and
yeah.
to people that are connections or business connections, but I'm not going to pay a company to promote me randomly on Instagram
No,
just
no,
to
no.
win
You need
content.
people, you
Like
need
if I'm
people.
gonna win, it's because of the work that I did and the people who know and who read my story and are like, okay, like I want to support this person and I think this person should be in this magazine because they have a good strong purpose
Yeah,
behind what they're doing, and I think the same with what you were doing too. Like I know I went on and I voted for you because I know you and I thought like I think this is fantastic and of course I'm going
yeah.
to support you, but I'm not going to in a competition pay for my votes. Like that's just weird. It just like really bothered me to my core.
I know there's lots of them on Instagram. Me, I know how they speak now. They don't tell you that they actually give you paid votes. When you speak to them, they say, I'll market you, I'll do this, I'll do this. And then when you say, okay, let's see the marketing plan, how are you gonna do this and stuff, they're like, start raising their voice, then you know, okay, that's not real. Because if you are gonna market me, you will tell me exactly how things are gonna be done and how the paid ads are gonna be done. So there's loads of them that do that. But I think it is nice as a leader to actually it's not about the winning. Whatever you do in life is not about the winning. It's that glory when you do. It's the process of doing things. When I was doing the modeling with Daisy and getting people to vote for me, is the process that I enjoyed. Learning things and just meeting people, I think is really, really nice. But it's not something that I would do like full time. It's nice when I go once a year and just model with this and have fun. It's nice. But if I was to be told to work full time, there's some things that I don't agree with. I don't agree, like me, if I have to be on the magazine, that sometimes you have to wear uh, naked clothes. You have to show your cleavage. I don't agree with that. Before I go into personal development, I will say that was a good way. Because I used to admire people that goes in, like, celebrities, you see how they dress and you'll be like, wow, look at their body and the boobies are out. And I used to think that that is the right way. But now that I uh, I've grown, and I'm realizing that actually for me as a leader, I don't have to do all that. And I'm realizing it when that guy died. What's his name for that film? The famous film that he died of cancer, and he didn't tell anyone. He was just losing weight, and people were making fun of him. What's his name? Is it Marvel Films? The South African guy that died. What's his name? Uh, he did a film with Iron Man.
I
What
have
was
no
it
idea
called?
because like the
Uh,
worst at names for
yes,
things.
yes. So I loved his story. I've learned something from him. He's a well-known someone, so he decided not to tell people about his illness. He kept it private until he died. Last minute he died. People kept making fun of him on social media, saying he's losing weight and things like that. But I loved it the way he kept his life private as a leader. To me, that is a great leader. That it made me realize actually not being famous is the right is all working on your favor, because you get to people that are judging you without knowing you emotionally, so you don't get to connect with people. And when things changes in your life, they are easy. People are easy to actually come in and start judging you. And I like your mindset when you say, I like to ask people that know me and vote for me, because when you win, you know that you were voted by people that actually they know you and they value your work as well. So I think it is very, very important. Because sometimes I do feel sorry for celebrities, like we like people commenting that you should be doing this. So I'm like, but do these people realize that these celebrities are actually normal people, like breathe, they go to toilet, they make mistakes like we do, but we have this image that they should be this, and which is not right. So a great leader, I think that's why it's very, very important to actually, like here at Ngozi Talk Show, for us to know why we are here. Even if somebody comes in and judge us, we know that we're not going to tolerate that behavior, because we work very hard. Our job, basically, we don't entertain, we help people find their own voice and lead from within. So I think your decision to be like, I'm going to let somebody that knows me and vote for me, so that when I win the money, or it's like if you ask me to vote for you, I'm going to ask somebody else. I'm going to send the link to someone else that I know. That's why I was saying you need to put the link to the group. And there's another group for guest talk shows, then we can put the link there. So it's like who you know, who they know, and they help you out. That's what life is about.
Yes, absolutely. I have to get going because I
Oh
have to get
yes,
my daughter
words of
to school.
encouragement. We need to get going as well. Words of encouragement,
Um,
please.
my words of encouragement is perseverance. Like you need to just keep persevering and trying something a little bit differently each and every time. Not keep trying the same thing over and over again, but to trust in yourself. And if you have a vision of where you want to get to, the right people will show up, and you will be successful beyond your wildest dreams.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. For me, basically, know yourself, have that determination, know yourself, have faith, be somebody that is willing to take action without any doubt, recognize fear when it knocks in, and just keep going. Know your journey, know who you are as a person, and then you get there. Don't let people define who you are and what you can do, what you can't. And we are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. Please follow us on our social media and subscribe to our channel. Live with grace, everyone. Find your own voice. Lead from within. God bless.